Hey y'all, hi. Here's what's going on. Over the past 24 to 48 hours, I've realized that I'm a little worried about myself going into Black Friday this year. I think that I've had a good bit of anxiety about it building over the last couple of weeks, actually, just like bad feelings, but they've been subterranean. They've been underneath it all, making me feel bad. And it wasn't until the past couple of days that I pulled those feelings out into the light and looked at them and realized what they were. And then I was like, girl, you have to make a plan. And then I was like, why don't I also make a video about this just in case there's anyone else out there dealing with the same stuff. So in this video, I'm going to talk about what I'm feeling and why I think that I'm feeling the way that I am, what it is I'm worried about and what I think the root causes might be. And then I'll talk you through a couple of strategies I've come up with to deal with this. And then I'll let you know which combination of those strategies is going to comprise my strategy going into Black Friday. If this is your first time to my channel, then welcome. I'm so glad you're here. My name is Hannah, and I really love beautiful things. I actually love shopping too, in moderation. I used to be a chronic overspender, and I had to stop shopping for a whole year. I did a whole no-buy year at the beginning of my YouTube channel, actually, and that jump-started my recovery process from chronic overspending. That was 4 years ago, and I'm doing way better now, but every once in a while, those old feelings get stirred up in me, and then I have to take myself in hand, which is what this video is about. If all of that sounds good to you, and if you enjoy this while you're watching, I hope that you'll subscribe. And now, let's go ahead and get into the meat of the video. So when I say that I'm worried about myself going into Black Friday, what does that even mean? What am I worried about? Some of you probably already know what I'm talking about, but in case you don't, I'm worried that I'm going to spend too much money. I'm worried that I'm going to lose sight of what I actually want for myself in terms of my financial health, how much of my money I actually do want to spend on beautiful things. Because I do want to spend some of it, right? I want to spend some money on beautiful things. It's just, I definitely don't want to spend all of my money on makeup and clothes and gifts for other people, which is a big one for me this time of year. I definitely don't want to spend more than I have. I don't want to go into debt for those things, but I'm worried that because of the frenzy surrounding these sales and because some of the things that I like to buy are about to be offered at deep, deep discounts, that I'm going to be sucked into spending way more than the percentage of my income that I feel comfortable spending on that kind of stuff right now. I'm worried that I'm going to wake up after it's all over and be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I spent that much money. Where did it all go? And I might end up with a bunch of beautiful things and they might have been deeply discounted, but I don't want to do that at the cost of my financial health. And I'm a little bit worried that I might go overboard because of the way that I've been feeling. And the way that I've been feeling is very sucked into marketing, a little bit unmoored. My mind is sort of bouncing all over the place, thinking about the things that I like to buy and whether they aren't going to be on sale. It's just been a very chaotic situation in my mind, thinking about the coming sales over the past couple of weeks. I've been feeling anxious that I don't know about the fact that I don't know about all of the sales. I've been thinking there are people who know things that I don't know about when certain sales are going to happen and what kind of discounts they're going to be. And I've been feeling this feeling that other people have a plan in place to hit certain shops and buy certain things and get all of their shopping done. And I don't have that plan because I don't know. And again, all of this has been totally subterranean, totally subconscious, because saying it out loud, it sounds ridiculous. I haven't been over here saying to myself, everybody else has a plan and I don't. It's just, I feel like all of the emails, hundreds of emails flooding into my inbox every day about this sale and that sale, and just the general frenzy on social media. That's all making me feel this way underneath it all. It's making me feel this way in my gut. I've been feeling the desire to really figure out what it is that I really want. I've been trying to be wait, what was that thing that I wanted? 6 months ago, I really, really wanted that thing. I should try to remember what that thing is so that I can go find out if those people are having a sale. I've been having those kinds of feelings, trying to remember a desire that I've long forgotten, right? And generally just kind of a low level of panic that I'm going to miss something. There's something happening that everyone knows about that I don't know about that I'm going to miss. I'm going to miss out. Things are going to sell out. and it's going to be a disaster. It's like this feeling of impending doom because I haven't gotten myself together. Now, I have not felt this way for the past couple of Black Fridays since my no-buy year. I've pretty much just ignored Black Friday and it's been absolutely no problem. So why am I feeling that way right now? Like, this is the first thing that I'm asking myself. Why am I feeling that way this year as Black Friday approaches? And I actually think that there's a pretty clear and easy answer to that for me. My mental health just isn't at its best right now. I'm just not having the best mental health month. There's no huge disaster. It's just that this has been a super weird year. I feel like in some ways this year has been even weirder than last year. I sometimes think that even though people consider 2020 to have been the lost year because of the pandemic, I feel like 2021 in many ways was actually the lost year for me in terms of what I've managed to do, how far I've managed to come in certain ways inside of myself. I know I'm getting very abstract right now. I know that this isn't everyone's situation, but where I'm at in my life right now, there's a lot of uncertainty about my future, intense uncertainty about what is about to happen. And I don't want anyone out there to worry about me. I'm totally fine. I have a lot of resources. And again, it's not a huge disaster. I just know myself, right? And I know that in terms of the spectrum of my mental health from and everyone has a spectrum of mental health, right? Sometimes I'm doing amazing. Sometimes I'm doing poorly. And I'm just doing relatively poorly for me right now. And I know that that's something that I need to work on, which is kind of the grand conclusion of this video. And we'll get to that at the very, very end. At this moment in the video, in the intro, where I'm asking myself, why is Black Friday stirring me up when it hasn't stirred me up over the past 3 years? I think I'm just not in as quite a strong place in terms of mental health this month as I have been in over the past 3 or 4 Novembers. It's as simple as that. And in spite of how far I've come since my no-buy year, there's still that part of me that believes or wants to believe that buying stuff is the golden ticket to making me feel better. Even though I know that that's not true. I mean, it does make you feel better temporarily to shop and to push that button and to get stuff in the mail, but that's temporary. So what I'm saying is I know that it's not true that it actually improves your life to buy stuff. But that old instinct is really hard to shake, and it rears its head when I'm not feeling as strong, and I'm just not feeling as strong right now. So that's why I'm a mess about Black Friday. It's a really powerful marketing machine, and I think that maybe because I was in a stronger place over the past couple of years in November, I didn't quite appreciate how much it can get in amongst you and how much it can create a panic, this sense that if you don't shop, you're failing. But gosh, I really appreciate it this year. I'm really kind of in it with those of you who are also experiencing that. I'm in it with you this year. So option number 1, I have there are 2 options for strategies, 2 slightly different, but each very strong, in my opinion, strategies. And the first option is to completely skip it. And if you didn't see my video about the Sephora sale and you really need this kind of content, then I recommend going and watching that. It was just a couple of weeks ago. And I talked about why I skipped the Sephora sale. And if you think you might want to go with this strategy, especially, then that video will be highly relevant. So skip it. Skip Black Friday completely. This is what I've done over the past couple of years, just without even thinking about it. I've just been oh, Black Friday, yeah, I don't do that. I don't know her, Just skip it. It's what I do for the Sephora sale as well, and it works really, really well. It's okay to skip it, right? You're not losing out. Nothing bad will happen if you don't buy stuff on Black Friday or during the Black Friday bonanza. It's not an emergency. It's not a group project. It's not a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It is literally, what this is that we're experiencing is literally a push by companies to get your holiday dollars. They know that you have an amount of money that you can spend. I mean, they know that you also maybe have a credit card and that you could, in theory, spend way beyond the amount of money that you have to spend. But for everyone, there's a limit, whether it's the limit is how much money you actually have, or the limit is your credit limit, right? For everyone, there's a limit to what they will spend during the holiday season. And all the companies are trying to get as big a piece of that pie as they can. That's what Black Friday is. It's not for you. It's not about you. I mean, I guess it's about your holiday dollars, but it's for them. So opting out, it's just opting out of that. You're just opting out of that grab, of them trying to grab at you. You're like, no, thank you. And I totally understand that you might have a really specific reason to want to shop a Black Friday sale or a couple of them. And I'll get to that in option 2. But you also might not. You might actually not. And if you find yourself like looking for a reason, like really racking your brain to try to think of the things that you want, the things that you need, all those things you thought you wanted over the year, and for some reason you can't remember them right now. Oh my gosh, you can't remember them. And it's an emergency. You're going to miss it. You're going to forget about that little brand you learned about 3 months ago, and you're going to not find out about their holiday sale until it's over. Like if you're having those feelings, if you don't have a thing that you just know exactly, you've been waiting and you know there's going to be a Black Friday sale and you've been waiting to shop it. If you're trying to drum up desire for stuff so that you can get a deal on it, just skip it. Okay? Like option 1 is for you if you're in that situation. If you don't buy a thing that you didn't remember that you wanted during a sale that you don't know is happening, nothing bad will happen to you. The other thing about this strategy is that if you know that you're particularly susceptible to sales and that once you get in, you can't get out, and you know that you always end up just going down the rabbit hole and spending and spending and spending because you just can't resist a deal. You know what I mean? If you're one of those people who you're like, oh, I just can't, I have to do it. And it feels almost like a drug to you. This is a really good strategy, and you might want to think about it this way. If you then go back later and buy things full price or buy things at less of a deep discount, it might actually be worth paying a little bit more to buy them at a time when you're not being like grabbed at and baited by this event, because you're more likely to make good decisions during that time. So it's like you're paying for quality of experience. You're paying a little more. You're willing to pay full price so that you can be level-headed, so that you can make a decision with all of your options clearly before you and weigh them all, instead of making like frantic, quick decisions with your mind all muddled by the fact of Black Friday and by all of the like different percentage off and like deals and free gifts and all of the stuff that's happening right now. It's especially worth it to be willing to buy things when they aren't on sale, to have that more level-headed experience, if buying things while they are on sale is going to cause you to buy way more things. Because then there's actually a chance that buying them when they're not on sale is going to save you money, because your head will be clear and you'll make much better decisions. You'll end up spending less overall. You might end up buying fewer things, but do you really need like way, way, way more things? Like, is that what we're doing here? We're out here trying to buy as much stuff, like as many pieces of stuff as possible. If you are, then that's fine. I'm not trying to judge you. I just think that for most people, the answer to that actually isn't yes. You know what I mean? Like you might want to have a sense of comfortable abundance, which is what I also enjoy in, for example, my makeup collection. But there's only so far that you can take that. Past a certain point, I don't want to go. You know, I don't want to keep buying more and more and more and more makeup. And even if it's 10% off, 20% off, 30% off, if I keep getting more and more and more, that means I'm buying all of those piles of makeup at 60%, 70%, 80%, 90% of full price. That adds up to much more money spent on that stuff than I would spend if I just bought a little bit less makeup, even paying full price. What I'm getting at here is that skipping Black Friday might save you money, depending on what kind of shopper you are. And if there isn't anything that you particularly want or need right now, it will definitely save you money, and it will also save you time and angst. I know, however, that option 1 isn't for everyone. So here's option 2. Option 2, which is if you're not going to skip Black Friday, and this means that you're going to buy something during Black Friday. Option 2 is to have a plan. And to me, this is what the plan involves. This one's a little bit more complicated. Skipping, it's easy. That's another reason that I recommend it. That's one of the things I learned during my no buy year. When you've decided in advance that you're not shopping, it takes off so much pressure. It's just a much more relaxing experience going through life that way. But again, I know that that might not be the thing for everyone. It might not even be the thing for me. We'll see. So here's option 2. Have a plan, and the plan starts with knowing the amount of money that you can spend. So you have to open your bank accounts, look at them, see what's in there if you don't already know, and decide how much money you can spend during either, you could make it part of like your whole holiday spending budget if you want, but to keep it simple, let's just say you're going to decide how much money you can spend during Black Friday or like during the rest of November, right? Like for this weekend at the end of November, maybe like between now and December 1st. And it depends how good the sales are. It's not a thing where like the amount of money that you can spend is going to fluctuate depending on how good the sales are, because the sales have nothing to do with your bank balance. The percentage off that certain companies are offering, that it's just a totally separate issue from what is in your bank account. So be honest with yourself about what you can actually spend right now and have that number in your head going into Black Friday. I think another important part of this plan, and I know that this is a big thing for a lot of people with Black Friday, is to know in advance if there's one really expensive thing that you either need or have wanted for a long time, and you know that you'll be able to save a significant amount of money if you buy it on Black Friday, because that's the kind of thing that tends to go on sale. So for example, something that I often look to buy on sale is headphones. Not necessarily these. I can't really remember what was going on when I got these. I just said headphones and they happen to be sitting right there. But I think that I had to get these not during a sale one time because of like editing work stuff. But I am heavily dependent on wireless headphones and plug-in headphones for the work that I do, right? Editing YouTube stuff. So that's like a kind of pricey thing, although I don't think that these ones are super expensive. I think that they're kind of inexpensive. In the history of my life, especially over the past 4 or 5 years, wireless headphones and noise canceling headphones, that's been like an electronic that I need to have for my work, that I depend on. And I know that there's a significant difference between buying that when it's on sale and buying it full price. So that's the kind of thing that I tend to keep an eye out for when sales are happening, especially if there's a pair that needs replacing. This year, there isn't. I don't need headphones right now. So I'm not going to go out being like, let's see what the deals are on wireless headphones. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying like if my headphones were on their last legs and I had been waiting to replace them for Black Friday, that's a piece of information that I would need to have as part of my plan going into the weekend. And then kind of with that in mind, I think another really important part of the plan, if you're making a plan for Black Friday, is to know which of these two things will make you happier. On the one hand, buying one really nice thing, if you're shopping for yourself, right? Buying one really nice thing that's going to make you really happy, like one kind of expensive thing, maybe that you otherwise wouldn't have felt comfortable spending the money on, or buying a whole bunch of things, each thing at a discount, and getting like this huge Black Friday haul where you have like a whole bunch of little new things that you wouldn't have bought yourself any other time of year, but you did it because they were all on sale. And together they added up to an amount of money that means that you saved something that's significant to you, like some amount of money that's significant to you. One purchase with a great discount, or a bunch of little things, like a haul made up of a bunch of little things. Which one of those two things is going to make you happier? I recommend choosing one. I mean, this is also partly my own budget speaking. Like maybe you have a bigger budget than I do, and you can afford to buy like 3 big, really lovely, expensive things, then a whole bunch of little things as well. And maybe when you're sitting down to make a plan, it will come to pass that you can make that plan that's fine for you. But one of the things I recommend, and you will know whether this applies to you or not, one of the things I recommend is to choose between those two things. I just think that thinking that way can help clarify desire. Because one of the things that goes on at this time of year with all of the companies and all the advertising, the sales and everything is that our desires get kind of muddled. And it's like, I don't know what I want. I don't know my own mind. And then feeling like it's a once in a lifetime opportunity, what we do is we then buy everything that we think we might want. That's the thing that I don't want to happen to me. And then if gifting is a thing for you, if part of what you do at this time of year is to buy gifts for people, then, know exactly who's on your list and know what you're going to get them. And if you don't actually know exactly what you're planning to buy for the people who are on your holiday gift list, then know exactly what amount of money you want to spend on them. So you don't get sucked in, because this is what happens to me. I find a thing and I'm like, oh, that would be perfect for so-and-so. And it's like kind of expensive. And I'm like, but it's on sale. But even on sale, it's still kind of expensive. But then I'm like, they'll love it so much. And I get it. If I do that too much, if I do that for everyone, then I way, way, way overspend at the holidays. So it's definitely part of my plan to write a list of the people for whom I want to buy gifts and either write what I want to buy for each person or the amount that I feel comfortable spending, so that if something comes up during the sale season, I can very easily and quickly say whether it's a yay or a nay as a gift. I also, and again, this might just be me, but I'm really into gift giving. I also have to write down on that list what I've already bought for people, because there, especially some people in my life, I just keep getting more and more gifts. I'll get them something and then it feels so good to have gotten something special for my mom that I continue to look for something special to get for my mom. And then I get her another special thing. And then I'm like, what else special can I get for mom? And then before I know it, I've just spent way more than I would have wanted to if I had made a plan. So it might seem obvious, but it helps me with my kind of frantic, panicked, muddled mind right now to put this out really clearly. Now, this plan, if you're choosing option 2, you are going to shop the sales and you're making a plan. This plan only works if you keep your contract with yourself, right? People who love to shop for beautiful things, we love to make a budget or make a plan and then just break it. We love to be like, this is what I'm going to do. And then you get in there and you're like, actually, I'm not. I'm doing something else, right? I used to love that before my no-buy year. And I bet that some of you love doing that too. I mean, love, I'm saying it in kind of a facetious way, but you get what I'm saying. That becomes its own pattern. So if you're out there I'm going to make a plan, are you secretly but then I'm going to break my plan? Is that what you're thinking? Because I'm telling you that this plan only works if you keep your promise to yourself. If you go over your budget, if you spill over, then just spill over by a little bit. You know what I mean? If your budget is $200 that you can spend during Black Friday, then yeah, maybe you could spend $220. Or even $230, but $250 is kind of pushing it, right? Because that's then a quarter again as much as you said that you were going to spend. And what I definitely don't recommend doing is being like, oh, this purchase is going to put me over my $200 limit, so I might as well just buy everything I want. I used to do that too before my no-buy year. I would be like, I'm making a budget. I can spend $200. And then I would get there and I would buy a little bit more than the $200 worth of stuff. And then I'd be like, I guess I'm going crazy. And then I'd spend $450. If you go over your budget, basically, don't go over it by the entire amount of your budget again. And then another half of it again on top of that. Don't go over your budget by 150% of itself, because then you didn't do the thing. You didn't execute your plan. So some of you might have to really be firm with yourself. You make your plan and then you actually have to have a moment where you're like, okay, I've made this plan and this time I'm actually going to keep my contract with myself rather than breaking it. You can do it. You can do it differently this time, even if you've done the same thing every Black Friday for the past 10 years, which is to say that you're going to budget and then break your budget. You can do it differently this year. You absolutely can. It's just a matter of choosing to do it and keeping your promise. You just have to do it with conviction. You have to have grit. Okay, so my strategy. Well, let's talk about my strategy. My strategy is the combination of the two things. So I've basically decided, and it was a huge relief, that I'm okay with skipping Black Friday this year. I didn't realize how worked up I was about it, how stressed I was, until I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll skip it. Maybe I will just buy nothing during Black Friday and Cyber Monday, just like I've done for the past several years. I am curious about what will go on sale, and I'm not planning to like not look at the internet for 4 days or something. And I'm not holding myself to it like I did to my no buy year. It's just my primary strategy. I've decided that I'm okay with not taking advantage of any of the sales. And I'm going to approach the whole thing with kind of an academic interest. I have also decided on a budget for myself as a fail-safe in case certain brands end up having sales that I recognize are an opportunity for me to buy something at a discount that I'm pretty confident that I would have ended up buying myself in the pretty near future. Like there are a couple of things that I have my eye on that I think there's a good chance I might end up buying sometime in the next 3 or 4 months. And if any of those things go on sale, then I might buy 1 or 2 of them. I fall more into like one big beautiful thing camp than the like bunch of little things camp. And I haven't decided on one big thing. I'm not out here being like, I know exactly what I'm going to get during Black Friday because I don't actually really know what's happening with the sales. In spite of feeling all muddled, or maybe part of why I'm feeling all muddled is this. I haven't done like research. I don't really know. So if I see an opportunity to get something that I think I'm pretty sure I would have bought anyway, and the discount is pretty significant, I have a budget in place that I will allow myself to use to do that. The key for me, though, is that it has to be something that I'm pretty confident that I would have bought at full price at some point in the future, or it's replacing something that I would have bought at full price in the future. So for example, if I had my eye on like a yellow sweater, a really beautiful yellow sweater with a pattern on it, and then I see another sweater, but it happens to be like a green sweater during Black Friday that I like just as much, and they're both great quality, but the one that's on sale during Black Friday costs less because of the Black Friday sales. If I decide to buy it on sale during Black Friday, that means for me that I can't get the yellow sweater a couple months down the line, that I'm forfeiting it in favor of this other one. So I might be making a decision like that when the weekend is upon us. But again, my primary strategy is to not buy anything. I feel like I'm going into it with an I'm not buying anything vibe, and then we'll see what happens. But I know that whatever does happen, I'm not going to go off the rails because my budget is very clear in my mind. And you know, part of me, because it's a possibility, part of me really, really wants to not spend it because I'm like, I could come out the other side of Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend with this money as my prize. Like this money in my bank account could be the thing that I get from the weekend, from like getting through the weekend without buying anything. That's very tempting to me. Having put a budget in place, having decided that I'll be okay, that I'm not going to feel like I failed if I don't shop, having decided that, and then having put a budget in place so that I know for sure that I'm not going to spend way too much. Having done those things, I feel way, way better. Like I just feel this huge sense of relief compared to how I've felt over the past couple of weeks every time I've thought about this. And also, as indicated, I think I was kind of talking about this throughout, I'm going to make a gift list. I haven't actually done this yet, but I have purchased a couple of gifts for people. I'm going to write it all down on a list, exactly who I still need to get presents for, exactly what I'm planning to get them or how much I'm going to spend. And I'm going to have that by my side going into the weekend too, because I know that that's the thing that really gets me. Okay, that's it. I feel like I have to go. This is supposed to be a short video, LOL. This is always what happens. But I hope that this was helpful for some of you. I'm not some sort of budget master, like financial specialist or anything like that. I'm just a person who really loves beautiful things and used to spend way too much on them. And then I've had to develop all of these strategies and ways of thinking about things to keep myself in hand going forward. I'm so much happier now, both just generally in my life and also with the shopping that I do. I'm so much happier than I was before when I was out of control. I have always loved acquiring beautiful things, but it always came with this horrible aftertaste before because I wasn't really thinking of it broadly. I wouldn't back up and see what I was doing because I knew that if I did that, I would be like, there's something terribly wrong and I would need to fix it. And I didn't want to fix it. But now I'm able to back up like I've done in this video and like look at it in context. Like this Black Friday in this November of this year, in the context of the year that I'm having and my current finances, my like yearly finances, and then this like 5-year situation right here, which includes this crazy time that we've been through, the pandemic, and it's changed everything about my life circumstances. Backing up like that just instantly dissolves all of those panicky feelings about like missing out, the once in a lifetime opportunity, wanting to join the party, those feelings that other people know something that I don't know and that I've just got to do it, got to get out there, got to elbow people out of the way and get my thing, you know? So I hope that this helped you too, or gave you the tools to help yourself. And, you know, I wanted to just quickly address the mental health thing at the end here because I kind of foreshadowed that at the beginning. The last thing that I'm going to do as part of my strategy is just to commit a little more to mental health stuff this week for myself. For me, right now, it kind of just means going back to working out a little bit every day. I haven't been doing that basically since Smidge got here because it's been so crazy. Like my schedule's been so crazy and I know that it'll make a big difference. It's not a huge thing. It's not like I'm going to meditate for an hour every morning and like blah, blah, blah. You know, I just know that if I can get myself to walk a little bit every day, it's baby steps, but it'll make a big difference. So I'm starting to do that. In fact, this morning was the first morning that I have done that in like almost 2 months. So I expect that that will help. I expect that that'll help me just be a little more centered this week, but also just having named it helps. Just having like said to myself and now said out loud in this video, wow, I'm having like a weird time around Black Friday this year. And it's because my mental health isn't very good right now. Like just figuring out what it is instead of feeling sort of like oppressed by all of the stuff has helped. Like even that has helped me feel better and also helped me feel more empowered to make good decisions, make my own decisions rather than letting companies make decisions for me about what I'll buy and what I'll spend. That's it. I can't remember if I already said that I'm leaving. And then I didn't leave, but I am leaving now. I'm so appreciative of you for watching this video all the way to the end. Again, I hope that it was helpful to you in some way. And I really, really hope that you are taking extra good care of yourself this entire week and going into the entire weekend, taking extra good care of yourself so that you can make good decisions and so that you can be the most effective version of yourself as you do your work in the world.